I'm in GT, my brother is Broly. Chapter 136 The Resurrected Vegeta, Devouring Dapra. It's good to come. Seeing this, Broly laughed and stepped on the ground with his right foot. In the next second, the figures of Broly and Son Gohan were fighting together on the field. Bang bang bang, bang bang bang. The deafening roar resounded, and the entire uninhabited planet began to tremble rapidly under their battle. It could be vaguely seen that cracks were constantly emerging on the surface, and as the battle between the two became more intense, the cracks became more and bigger. Not bad. The increase in combat power has not made it difficult for them to adapt. The current battle has also brought out all of its strength. Watching Broly and Son Gohan fighting, Bupa nodded in satisfaction. Immediately afterwards, Bupa couldn't help frowning in thought. In the current situation, is he going to try to get Son Gohan and Broly to perform Super Force transformations? Artificial Moon. This ability shouldn't be difficult to learn. Muttering in his mouth, Bupa looked at Broly and Son Gohan who were fighting together, and immediately planned to return to the new Vegeta Star to find Kakao and others. Although the improvement of Kakao and others is not very fast, they are pure Saiyan after all, and they have also learned the ability of Artificial Moon. Suddenly, Bupa raised his brows and turned to look outside the universe. He could clearly feel that on a distant planet there was an aura of super competition emerging at this moment. And this breath is obviously from Vegeta. Vegeta. He actually came here after escaping from Earth? But who is fighting him? 35. Raising his brows, Bupa's eyes showed a hint of curiosity. Immediately afterwards, Bupa didn't care about returning to the new Vegeta Star, and immediately launched instant transmission and flew towards the distant planet. On an unnamed planet, Vegeta is fighting with Dapra at the moment. It's just that Vegeta's situation at this moment is obviously different, and the halo above his head has disappeared for some time. Even the figure with the whole person has become a lot stronger. The most important thing is that Vegeta has white hair and a special pattern on his face at the moment. Opposite him, Dapra continued to fight with him, but his own strength was obviously not invincible. This also caused Babidi and others in the area behind Dapra to be extremely nervous, and even had a tendency to escape on the universe spaceship. Zizzy. The space shook, and Bupa's figure appeared not far from the battlefield. After seeing both sides clearly, Bupa's eyes couldn't help showing a hint of surprise, and he murmured, "It's interesting." 99. Vegeta vs. Dapra. And this Vegeta is still possessed by Baby. For a time, Bupa's eyes were full of incredible colors. You know, Vegeta is already dead, and Dragon Ball has not been used to bring it back to life. But now he and Baby Fusion have miraculously resurrected from the dead, and even his combat power has been significantly improved. After all, the Dapra he is facing now, as the Demon King of the Demon Realm, should have a combat power of 20 billion. But under the normal combat power of Vegeta, it is actually unbelievable that he can compete with it at this moment. System, check the information of the two. Bupa opened his mouth to give the order, and Dapra was fine. He was particularly curious about Vegeta. Is the latter now Vegeta himself or Baby? In the next second, the information of the two appeared in front of Bupa's eyes. Dapra, race, Demon King, bloodline of inferior Demon King, combat strength, 28 billion, ability, petrified saliva. Vegeta, race, Saiyan, mutation, bloodline, royal family, combat strength, 30 billion. Transformation, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, ability, Artificial Moon, intermediate regeneration, final flash, Prince tactics. It's actually Vegeta itself. He actually absorbed Baby. 35. After reading Vegeta's message, Bupa opened his mouth with a hint of astonishment in his eyes. Unexpectedly, this Vegeta actually accomplished such an incredible thing. You know, in the original work, Vegeta was occupied by Baby, and even became its parasite. But what about now? Vegeta not only devoured Baby, but even absorbed Baby's super life essence. With the intermediate regeneration ability, Vegeta can quickly recover as before unless his head and heart are blown out. The most important thing is that Vegeta's basic combat power has reached a terrifying 30 billion even though it has not received any help or improvement. You know, before the potential developed by the old Supreme Kai, Son Goku and Son Gohan were only about 6 billion in combat power. Is the butterfly effect too big? Or what else did Vegeta get when she traveled to the universe? At this moment, Bupa couldn't help muttering in his heart. His eyes were full of puzzlement and curiosity. At this moment, Dapra, who was in the arena, suddenly attacked, opened his mouth and spit out saliva and went straight to Vegeta. However, Vegeta seemed to be well prepared for all this, and avoided Dapra's attack with a flick of his body. Immediately afterwards, Vegeta slammed forward, punching directly on Dapra's lower abdomen. With a scream, blood spurted out of Dapra's mouth, his whole body arched and trembled, and his eyes were full of pain. Demon King. Yeah, it's just trash. After a blow, Vegeta looked at Dapra with a cold expression and said, "If that's the case, then I will accept your power rudely." 35. Saying that, Vegeta suddenly reached out and grabbed Dapra's shoulder. In the next second, Vegeta's arm can be seen cellularizing, wrapping Dapra at a speed visible to the naked eye. A badge. The screams resounded. Dapra struggled frantically after being wrapped, and countless demonic energy spewed out of his body. But unfortunately, no matter how much Dapra struggled, it was meaningless, and the surging demonic energy directly covered him completely. In just a few breaths, Dapra was completely silent. Immediately afterwards, it can be seen that the countless cells have returned to Vegeta's body, and a corpse of Dapra, like a mummified corpse, fell to the ground from his hands. In the next second, Vegeta's body was full of rage, and it immediately soared to about 58 billion. Astonishingly, Vegeta has just absorbed all of Dapra's combat power. What? At this moment, Vegeta suddenly screamed, and it was obvious that the demonic energy all over her body began to boil. Her whole body trembled constantly, and a letter M appeared quietly between her eyebrows. Chapter 137 Demonizing Vegeta, Babidi's Ambition. Add this. Seeing this, Bupa was surprised and said in disbelief, devouring combat power. After Vegeta and Baby fusion, there is such a power. 35. No wonder Vegeta's combat power has soared so much in a short period of time. This way of opening is simply unbelievable. 66.99. For a time, Bupa really wondered if the Vegeta in front of him was dead. Even if it is his own butterfly effect, it is logically impossible to reach such a level. Although Son Goku and Son Gohan also improved rapidly, they were not as outrageous as Vegeta. If he is given a certain amount of time, then Vegeta may even directly dominate the universe. For nothing else, his devouring ability is too heaven-defying. Although I don't know if there are any limitations, or there are limits, but at least for now, Vegeta's potential has surpassed Son Goku, Son Gohan. Ha ha. At this moment, Babidi's laughter came from midair. Looking at the sound, it can be seen that Babidi, who was about to escape, suddenly flew down from the air at this moment. When he arrived not far from the area where Vegeta was located, he said excitedly, "That's great." Although Dapra died, 100 also created a stronger demonized warrior for me. Demonize Vegeta, as long as you master you will be more certain to resurrect Majin Buu. Saying that, Babidi immediately began to cast his magic. It can be seen that the special magic circles flew out one by one, and poured directly into the body of Vegeta, who was screaming constantly. In the next second, countless demonic energy penetrated into Vegeta's body, and the screams in his mouth became more and more subtle. After about a quarter of an hour, Vegeta raised his head suddenly, and the chi in the whole body directly increased from 58 billion to 80 billion. The difference is that the M font between his eyebrows has become more profound at the moment, and the surrounding magic energy is even more integrated with Vegeta, making him a magic warrior in the true sense. No, it should be the Demon King. Haha. Success. 99. Seeing this, Babidi laughed even more intensely. The subordinates of Babidi behind him were also relieved, and now they started to congratulate. Congratulations to Lord Babidi. Congratulations, Lord Babidi. 6699. Babidi. At this moment, Vegeta suddenly opened his eyes, and his eyes were red and murderous and locked on Babidi. Vegeta. Seeing this, Babidi was subconsciously afraid and took a few steps back. But soon, Babidi seemed to think of something, and immediately said, "You have now signed a master-servant contract with me, and you are now my servant. If you dare to disobey my words, then I can kill you in an instant." Saying that, Babidi waved his hand. What? Almost in an instant, Vegeta's screams resounded. The letter M between his eyebrows was bright, and a special force made him unbearable. After a full 3 minutes, Babidi stopped moving his hands and looked at Vegeta. "Now you know, Humphrey." Hearing this, Vegeta snorted coldly, and the whole person stood up from the ground, looking at Babidi's eyes still filled with ice. However, he also understood that he was powerless to resist now, took a deep breath and said, "Babidi, what is your purpose?" "Of course the resurrection of Majin Buu." Hearing this, Babidi disapproved and said proudly, "Majin Buu is the strongest existence in the universe. As long as he is resurrected, then I can control the entire universe." Having said that, Babidi's eyes subconsciously looked at where Vegeta was, and there was a hint of play in his eyes. "Vegeta, I already know about you." 99. For revenge, he actually sacrificed his own son in exchange for his strength. 35. You were an evil one, and now you are stronger after absorbing the power of Dapra. But you should be very clear that with just this power, you still can't be the opponent of Saiyan Bupa. So, only by helping me revive Majin Buu, with the power of Majin Buu can complete revenge. As soon as these words came out, the audience fell silent. Vegeta's pupils shrank, as if thinking of something painful. She stared at Babidi in front of her and said, "What else do you know?" At this moment, Vegeta's body was overflowing with murderous aura, and the rich demonic energy was even closer to his fusion. This scene also made Babidi even more excited, but he did not show it, but said in a deep voice, "Devil Race secret technique, Devour." Although very few people know about this secret technique, and the Devil Race has long been wiped out, I also know its existence. Isn't your present ability obtained because of it? Everything you are now is also accomplished through it. 95. Boom. Almost as soon as Babidi finished speaking, Vegeta's aura immediately swept the entire area. At this moment, Vegeta's demonic energy attacked her heart, and she was completely demonized. She stared at Babidi and said, "Since you already know, aren't you afraid that I will also swallow the so-called Majin Buu in your mouth?" 35. Devouring Majin Buu. Hearing this, a trace of disdain flashed in Babidi's eyes. If Majin Buu can be swallowed casually, it's not the number one universe. And when the time comes to really start, whoever devours who is another ending. Thinking of this, Babidi spoke immediately, "If you have that ability, then I don't mind." 35. After all, neither you nor Majin Buu are just one of my subordinates. As soon as these words came out, Vegeta clenched her fists subconsciously. Although he was not reconciled, he still had no choice. Thinking of this, Vegeta immediately said, "So, then it is as you wish." After speaking, Vegeta restrained her murderous and demonic aura. He had already sentenced Babidi to death in his heart. But as Babidi said, even now he has no absolute certainty that he can beat Bupa. After all, the latter is the legendary Super Saiyan, and there is also the existence of his younger brother Broly. So, now he needs to continue dormant, until he finds the so-called Majin Buu. As long as he can devour it, then, very good. Seeing this, Babidi was excited. He could see that Vegeta had compromised at this moment, and he didn't care what purpose the latter might have. As long as he wakes up Majin Buu, neither Vegeta nor anyone else is threatening him. Thinking of this, Babidi said immediately, "If so, then you can come with me. Let's go to Earth now." Chapter 138. The Death of Babidi. The Magic Super 3 Forms. While speaking, Babidi turned and flew towards the universe spaceship. Seeing this situation, Vegeta did not hesitate, and immediately flew into the universe spaceship. Clap clap. At this moment, a burst of applause resounded quietly. In an instant, Babidi and the others and Vegeta were all stunned. Looking at the sound, it can be seen that on a hill not far away, Bupa is clapping his hands and looking at Babidi and others with a playful look. "Bupa, it's him." 99. The moment he saw Bupa, Vegeta's eyes spewed fire, and the monstrous killing intent and demonic energy gushed out of his body. It never occurred to him that Bupa was actually on this planet, and the latter seems to have stayed for a long time, which means that he is likely to have a panoramic view of the previous things. "It's him." "No, run away." On the contrary, Babidi's face changed greatly, and he flew into the universe spaceship quickly without any hesitation. Immediately afterwards, the universe spaceship burst into flames and was about to flee. "Want to go?" 99. When I don't exist. Seeing this, Bupa smiled, his eyes flashed coldly, and he raised his hand and a Kai-Gong bullet flew out. There was an agreement with Dong's Supreme Kai to resolve Majin Buu's problems. Originally Bupa planned to wait a year or two, when Babidi released Majin Buu to solve it. But now that I have encountered it, there is no need to waste time. If you kill Babidi directly, then Majin Buu will not have any possibility of recovery. There is only the possibility of being imprisoned on Earth for the rest of his life. And he does not need to waste his energy. In the next second, the Kai-Gong bomb hit the universe spaceship. Rumbling, rumbling. The explosion sounded loud and clear, and the universe spacecraft could be clearly seen turning into dust at a speed visible to the naked eye. At the same time, Babidi and his subordinates were completely destroyed by Bupa's Kai-Gong bomb. Done. After getting rid of Babidi and others, Bupa smiled lightly, then looked at Vegeta who was staring at him in the air not far away and said, "Vegeta, you really exceeded my expectations." 39. At first I thought you became so powerful just after fusion with Baby, but I didn't expect you to be so mad, and tiger poison does not eat children. I didn't expect you to actually do such a thing. It really refreshed my 3 views. Indeed, Bupa was very surprised at this moment. I thought that Vegeta took the Trunks because the latter was his only child, and Vegeta did it deliberately because he was worried. But he never imagined that Vegeta took away Trunks not because he was reluctant to give up each other, but sacrificed Trunks. Using that so-called secret technique, he directly stole the young life of Trunks. No wonder he can still survive after being possessed by Baby, and his potential has even increased to such a degree. Gohan is devouring Trunks, stealing his life and potential to bring himself back to life. As for Baby, it is very likely that Vegeta encountered it when he used the swallowing secret technique to become stronger, which caused Baby to be devoured by him, so that he could get Baby's regeneration ability. Bupa, with murderous intent flashing in his eyes, Vegeta gritted his teeth and looked at Bupa. "It's all because of you. If it weren't for you and that bitch, how could my dignified son of King Vegeta become so ignorant? Since you are here today, then I will send you to hell, so that you can also feel the elegance in hell." Saying that, Vegeta clenched her fists suddenly, and said, "Ha." The next second, Vegeta's chi became violent, and the whole person immediately entered the form of Super Saiyan 3. Under such circumstances, it can be seen that Vegeta's blonde hair is longer than her height, and her body is as black as ink, which is demonic. The most important thing is that, under such circumstances, Vegeta's original combat power of about 58 billion has actually increased to 58 trillion at this moment. A 1,000-fold increase in combat power. Seeing this scene, Bupa raised his eyebrows and showed a hint of surprise in his eyes. You know, Super Saiyan 3 can only increase the combat power by about 400 times. Even if it is Super 3 full power, at most it will increase the combat power by about 800 times. But Vegeta has now increased its combat power by 1,000 times, and it is still Super Saiyan 3 instead of Super Saiyan 3 full power. Is the transformation stronger after demonization? Is this the so-called blackening 3 times stronger? Zero flowers zero. Chukao in his mouth. Bupa was completely speechless at this moment. I thought that Vegeta was enough to hang, but I didn't expect it to be stronger after the demonization. Even the butterfly effect caused by oneself is not so terrible. Bupa, see. This is Super Saiyan 3. This is the power that truly belongs to me, Prince Saiyan. After transforming, Vegeta looked wide and high at the area where Bupa was located. While the whole person was going crazy, the killing intent around him became more and more intense. For nothing else, because he thinks that his power is strong enough. Even the previous Bupa is absolutely impossible to be his opponent. That's it. Hearing this, Bupa laughed. Point zero. He glanced at Vegeta contemptuously and said, if you devour Majin Buu, then there may be a possibility that I will pay attention to 3 points. But with your current strength, let alone me, even facing Broly is no match. Vegeta, whoever gave you the courage to lift up so much can fly like this. As soon as these words came out, the audience fell silent. Vegeta in midair stared at him in disbelief. He wondered if he had heard it wrong. After all, he is now a Super Saiyan 3 transformed form, and with the power of magic, the whole person can be said to be unprecedentedly powerful and terrifying. But what about now? To be so looked down upon by Bupa made him unbelievable, and at the same time, his inner unease also quietly emerged. Bluff. You must be bluffing. After a while, Vegeta barely calmed down, staring at Bupa gnashing his teeth. Bupa, don't think your bravado can scare me. 99. Today, I'll kill you first, and I'm going to the new Vegeta star to kill that slut Boomer. Saying that, Vegeta no longer hesitated, and directly raised her hand to attack Bupa with countless Kaigong bullets. Court death. After hearing Vegeta's words, Bupa's eyes were full of murderous intent. The latter has to target himself. Bupa doesn't care. After all, giants don't need to care about ants. But Vegeta actually tried to move her own woman, so there is no need for any further existence. Chapter 139 Vegeta vs Bupa, The Gap of Despair. As soon as his mind moved, Bupa directly entered a state of anger, and his figure also increased to a height of more than 3 meters. In the next second, a grassy green air appeared all over Bupa's body, and immediately entered the super transmission mode. In an instant, Bupa's whole body gushed out, and 25 Jing's combat power swept out. Without any hesitation, Bupa swayed and avoided the attack of Vegeta's Kaigong bomb. Rumbling, rumble one. An endless roar resounded. The area behind Bupa can clearly be seen sinking at a rate visible to the naked eye. In just a few breaths, the area where Bupa was before was reduced to rubble. Call out. At this moment, Bupa's figure appeared in the area where Vegeta was. Vegeta, your strength is really weak. Looking at Vegeta's 103 tower with cold eyes, Bupa's eyes flashed coldly, and he raised his hand and punched Vegeta's head. Not good. When the crisis struck, Vegeta's face changed drastically. He could clearly feel the horror of Bupa's blow. For a while, Vegeta didn't care about anything else, and hurriedly raised his hand and clenched it into a fist and attacked. The next second, the two fists bombarded together in midair. Click. The sound of shattering resounded, and one of Vegeta's arms exploded in an instant, turning into a blood mist just at the moment of contact. What? The screams resounded, and Vegeta was smashed and flew out, crashing into dozens of mountains one after another before it stopped. Impossible. It's absolutely impossible. Inside the ruins, Vegeta struggled to walk out, her whole face staring at Bupa in the distance, her eyes full of disbelief. Spike. That's an absolute kill, and from this fight, he can clearly feel how huge the gap between himself and Bupa is. To put it badly, the current Bupa can blow his arm with a single blow. Then if it is to face his head, the end will still be the same. This also means that once he continues to fight against it, the end that awaits him is death. Nothing is impossible. Flying to the area where Vegeta is located, Bupa said condescendingly, Vegeta, your chance is not small, and you are cruel enough. If you don't meet this king today, then give you enough time to continuously devour yourself and strengthen yourself, then you do have a chance to touch this king. 99. But unfortunately, you are too weak now, with a mere 50 billion combat power. 35. Not to mention this king, even my brother Broly, even Son Goku and Son Gohan are far superior to you. Even if your demonized Super Saiyan 3 form is really powerful, it's not the king's one enemy at all. 99. As soon as these words came out, Vegeta's face on the ground instantly turned hideous. Bupa's words were absolutely murderous to him. Not as good as Bupa. He has seen it from the battle just now. Not as good as Broly. He is also reluctant to accept. After all, the latter is the legendary Super Saiyan. Quan Jiao 2 can enhance the combat power by 1000 times, which is not inferior to his current magic Super Saiyan 3. But Bupa actually said that he was inferior to Son Goku and Son Gohan, which made Vegeta unacceptable, and clenched his fists and gritted his teeth. How is it possible? How could this prince be inferior to the inferior Saiyan of Kakarot, or the half-blood Saiyan of Son Goku? Bupa, you are lying to me. You must be lying to me. 35. Furious, Vegeta let out a loud cry, and it could be seen that her destroyed arm grew out in an instant. This is the horror of the intermediate regeneration ability. As long as the head and heart are not blasted, it can be restored. Of course, such a capability means nothing to Bupa. He had already obtained the advanced regeneration ability back then. Even if his head and heart were destroyed, his cells would still be able to recover as before. Innocent. With a cold snort, Bupa glanced at Vegeta, and said condescendingly, "The dragon disdains ants to lie." Son Goku aside, after all, he has not yet completed his potential development. But Son Gohan's basic combat power has reached 430 billion after he completed his potential development. Only with your current strength, even if you have strengthened a lot after your transformation, if he goes all out, you can't be his opponent. 35. Hiss. Hearing this, Vegeta took a deep breath. 43001Z. Son Gohan actually has 430 billion basic combat power, which is definitely unacceptable to Vegeta. 0. And listening to Bupa, Son Goku seems to be developing a similar potential. This also means that once Son Goku completes his potential development, his strength is likely not inferior to Son Gohan. In this way, it is ridiculous that Vegeta has done so much, even sacrificing his own son in exchange for the power. No, I don't believe it. I never believe this to be true. 35. In an instant, Vegeta was mad, and the whole person roared, and the demonic energy around him spewed. Immediately afterwards, Vegeta attacked Bupa directly. In a moment, Vegeta arrived at the area where Bupa was. Damn it! With a low growl in his mouth, Vegeta waved his arms, and the shadows of fists in the sky attacked Bupa like a storm. That's it? Bupa disagrees. Looking at the attacking fist shadow lightly, the figure kept dodging to avoid all the attacks of Vegeta. As time went by, Vegeta's attack became more and more slow, and he attacked with all his strength again and again, but he was not able to persist. Chance. It's now. At this moment, Bupa's eyes flashed, and he immediately raised his hand and punched Vegeta's heart area. With a loud bang, 0.7 Gita's chest exploded into blood mist, and even his heart was destroyed in an instant. What? The screams resounded, Vegeta's eyes widened, and the fists he waving paused. Looking down at the injury on his chest, Vegeta swallowed and said with a difficult expression, "This is impossible. Why is this happening? Why are we so far apart? I am Prince Saiyan, and I should be the most powerful Saiyan in the universe." At this moment, Vegeta was completely desperate. He understands that the gap between himself and Bupa is too great, and the two sides are not on the same level at all. Recalling his actions since then, he even sacrificed his own child's life. But what about the result? Not only did he not take revenge, he even faced death again soon. Chapter 140. Killing Vegeta again? Pointing to Son Gohan, nothing is impossible. Not intending to continue wasting time with Vegeta, Bupa raised his hand and gathered the Kaigong bombs. Immediately afterwards, Bupa said, "Vegeta, practice well within the defense." 35. I look forward to the next time you can bring me a little pressure, otherwise, I will master the ability to completely obliterate you next time. After speaking, Bupa no longer hesitated, and finally the flash started, covering Vegeta immediately. What? The screams resounded, and it could be seen that Vegeta's figure was annihilated at a speed visible to the naked eye. Ralph used Baby's power, but in the final flash attack, all of them were annihilated and turned into powder. Bupa, this prince will never give up. Next time, this prince will definitely kill you when he comes out of hell. With the unwilling roar resounding, Vegeta's figure completely turned into a powder and died. Ended. Seeing this, Bupa withdrew his hand, shook his head and said, 20. It seems that we must go to the main universe as soon as possible. If you can conquer some of the existence of the main universe, then maybe you can refresh the gods of destruction technology. As long as he learns the ability to destroy, he can be completely eliminated at that time, without giving him any possibility of surviving in the underworld in physical form. 99. Zizzy. At this moment, a burst of space shaking. Immediately afterwards, it can be seen that the figures of Dong Supreme Kai and Jabit appeared in the area not far from Bupa. Mr. Bupa. After seeing Bupa, Dong Supreme Kai and Jabit were stunned for a moment, and then looked overjoyed. Quickly stepping forward, Dong Supreme Kai said, "Master Bupa, just now I felt a strong magical energy appearing in this area. Do you know who it is?" Although it was an inquiry, Dong Supreme Kai's eyes were more of anticipation, because he can no longer perceive the existence of demonic energy, and with the appearance of Bupa, it is very likely that the existence of the demonic world has also been killed. Babidi, Dapra and Vegeta. Glancing at Dong Supreme Kai, Bupa retracted his mind, and immediately said, "But don't worry, they have all been wiped out by me." 99. Sure enough. Hearing this, Dong Supreme Kai and Jabit were overjoyed. Although there were speculations before, but after confirming from Bupa, they were completely relieved in their hearts. After looking at each other, Dong Supreme Kai quickly bowed and saluted. "Thank you Mr. Bupa for taking action to eliminate the crisis in universe. It doesn't have to be." With a wave of his hand, Bupa said indifferently, "I promised you before to solve Majin Buu's matter. Now that Babidi has been killed by me, there is no possibility of resurrecting Majin Buu unless they escape from hell. So, If you have time, Dong Supreme Kai can go to the underworld and let King Yama and others guard Babidi and others. I see. 35. Hearing this, Dong Supreme Kai was instantly awe-inspiring, and immediately stopped staying, and said quickly, Mr. Bupa, then I will go to the underworld to explain to King Yama. 55. Jebet, let's go. Yes, Lord Supreme Kai. 35. As soon as he agreed, JB didn't hesitate, grabbing Dong Supreme Kai and launching instant transmission to disappear from the spot. Watching the two leave, Bupa also smiled slightly. Immediately after that, he didn't hesitate, and as soon as he thought about it, he activated instant transmission and returned to the new Vegeta star. After finding Cacao and others, you can see a group of people are constantly exercising themselves in the cultivation place. In a short period of time, the combat power of Cacao and others has almost reached about 3 million. As long as 400,000 to 500,000 combat power is improved, this group of people can have the possibility to complete the transformation of Super Saiyan. Without wasting time, Bupa went directly to Cacao to learn the ability of the artificial moon. After learning, Bupa launched instant transmission again and returned to the planet where Son Gohan and Broly fought. Bang bang bang, bang bang bang. With the return of Bupa, it can be seen that the battle between Son Gohan and Broly has entered a white-hot stage. At this moment, Son Gohan has launched a mysterious state transformation. Under such circumstances, his own combat power has been increased by 600 times to the point of 250 trillion. Even so, Son Gohan is no match for Broly. As Broly became angry, Son Gohan directly became the one who was hanged and beaten from the level he originally competed with. Okay, you can stop. Seeing this, Bupa immediately stopped the fight. Son Gohan's limit has been reached, and there is no point in fighting to the limit in such a situation. After all, it is not a real life and death battle. Although Broly has a crushing advantage, it is impossible to kill Son Gohan. Yes, 99. Yes. Hearing this, Broly and Son Gohan immediately stopped fighting. After looking at each other, Son Gohan panted, Uncle Broly, you are really strong. Even if I complete the mysterious state, I'm still not your opponent. Having said this, a trace of sadness flashed in Son Gohan's eyes. The gap between ordinary Saiyan and Quinkao is too big. Son Gohan doesn't have to favor one over another. Seeing this, Bupa immediately stepped forward and comforted. Your mysterious state has great potential. If it continues to develop, it will definitely not be inferior to Quinjiao's transformation. In addition, you can also try to completely transform the mysterious state into a normal state, and on this basis, perform a super transformation. Let alone Broly, even I dare not say that it will suppress you 100%. This is not a Bupa joke. Once Son Gohan incorporates the mysterious state into the normal, his base combat power will increase by 600 times. Like right now, if Son Gohan does all this, he'll have 250 trillion in normal combat power. With the addition of 400 times the combat power of Super Saiyan 3, it can completely reach the level of Beijing's combat power. Sigh. Anything like that? Hearing this, Broly also looked at Son Gohan in surprise, his eyes flashing with horror. He has seen the mysterious state, which is even more terrifying than the increase in Super Saiyan 3. If Son Gohan makes it a normal practice, then his strength will really reach an extremely terrifying level. Even in the battle of the same realm, even Broly does not have much confidence that he can be his opponent. I see Uncle Bupa. Nodding, Son Gohan also recovered a lot at the moment, raised his head to look at Bupa and said, I will definitely work hard to cultivate and try to make my mysterious state my normal mode. If you like this audiobook, subscribe the channel for more videos like this. And join my Patreon if you want to support me, where you can find advanced audiobooks that hasn't been uploaded on YouTube till now. Leave some comment and let me know if you guys like this story, or you have a web novel you like and want to hear its audiobook. I will be happy to create them for you. Please like, share, and leave a comment on the video.